Imagine a world where dinosaurs walked again. No, maybe not giant thunder lizards shaking the ground beneath our feet, but creatures that might as well have been dinosaurs in our lifetime. Animals declared extinct, species wiped off the map. Birds whose songs vanished forever. Wolves, bison, big cats, and forgotten giants, gone. Or, at least that's what we believed. But what if I told you something unbelievable? Creatures once vanished from the earth are coming back. Not by accident, not by miracle, but because humanity has decided to rewrite the rules of extinction itself. What if I told you scientists, conservationists, and entire nations are not just protecting nature anymore, they're re-engineering it, rebuilding it, rewilding it? This is the story of how forgotten species are returning, how ecosystems long dead are waking up again, and how these reborn animals are reshaping landscapes, climates, and the future of our planet. This isn't science fiction. This is rewilding. This is the comeback of the vanished. Welcome to the rebirth of the wild. The Tasmanian tiger, the Baiji river dolphin, the passenger pigeon, the Carolina parakeet, the western black rhino. Forests turned to ashes, oceans emptied, landscapes sterilized by concrete. For centuries, the story of our planet was a slow and silent bleeding. One species gone, then another, and another, like pages being torn out of the book of life. We grew up hearing that extinction is forever, that once a species vanishes, it never returns. But what if that was never fully true? What if some species weren't extinct, just waiting? Waiting for forests to regrow, waiting for rivers to clean, waiting for us to stop destroying and start rebuilding. Because a strange thing happened in the last 20 years. Nature didn't give up. It adapted. It survived. And sometimes it came back from the dead. For most of modern history, environmental science painted a dark picture, a dying earth, a collapsing web of life, a future where entire ecosystems turned into museum exhibits. Newspapers called it the silent earth. Scientists called it biological Armageddon. Many believed nature was too far gone to recover. But then something changed. Around the world, biologists began noticing strange patterns. Species not seen for decades suddenly reappearing. Animals returning to places they had abandoned a century earlier. Ecosystems rebooting themselves like a crashed computer restoring old files. And so, a new idea was born. A concept so radical, it flipped the narrative of conservation completely upside down. Rewilding. Rewilding isn't about locking animals behind fences. It isn't about saving one species at a time. Rewilding means something far more powerful. We bring back entire ecosystems by restoring the key species that once shaped them. Think of wolves controlling deer populations. Think of bison sculpting grasslands. Think of beavers building wetlands. Think of birds dispersing seeds like gardeners of the sky. Rewilding says, if we bring back the right animals, nature can heal itself. This idea changed everything.
Letting forests regrow, letting rivers reclaim their natural flow, letting abandoned land return to the wild. Nature does the work. Reintroducing wolves, bison, bears, lynx, beavers, and other species that disappeared due to human pressure. This is the heart of modern rewilding. The most controversial stage, using advanced genetics, cloning, selective breeding, and ecosystem reconstruction to revive traits of extinct species. Not Jurassic Park, but close. This section begins the dramatic storytelling of the animals that return. From wolves to bison, from lynx to ferrets, from condors to beavers. We'll build each story with cinematic pacing, emotional depth, scientific explanation, USA-friendly narration, ecosystem impact, and historical background. For 70 years, Yellowstone National Park, America's pride, was missing its heartbeat: wolves. They were exterminated in the early 1900s, shot, trapped, poisoned, erased. Without wolves, the land collapsed quietly. Rivers destabilized, forests stopped regenerating, deer ate everything, beavers vanished, songbirds disappeared, even water levels changed. Yellowstone became a beautiful corpse, alive but barely. Then, in 1995, after decades of debate, biologists released 14 wolves into Yellowstone. It was dangerous, controversial, politically explosive. But the moment the wolves stepped out of their cages, the park changed. Immediately. Not slowly, not subtly, but violently and beautifully. Wolves hunted elk again. Elk moved cautiously. Willows regrew. Beavers returned. Wetlands formed. Fish flourished. Birds multiplied. Coyotes declined. Pronghorn increased. Bald eagles soared. And the rivers, the literal shape of the rivers, changed course, all because of wolves. This became the most famous ecological phenomenon on Earth: the trophic cascade, a top predator restoring an entire ecosystem from top to bottom. It changed conservation forever. Wolves proved a shocking truth: bring back the right species, and nature will rebuild itself. This moment ignited a global movement. From Europe to Asia to South America, nations began asking, if wolves can heal Yellowstone, what can other vanished species restore? There was a time in American history when the ground shook. The Great Plains, stretching from Texas to the Dakotas, once trembled beneath the weight of 60 million bison. They were our continent's heartbeat, the architects of prairies, the living engines of grassland ecosystems. And then, in less than 60 years, they were wiped out. From 60 million to less than 1,000. A genocide of a species so intense that the bones of bison were piled like mountains and sold for fertilizer. Their extinction wasn't natural, it was calculated. A weapon used during westward expansion to destroy Native American food sources and force entire cultures into collapse. By the early 1900s, the bison was a ghost, a symbol of a scar the nation didn't want to face. But then, something unexpected happened. America decided to bring the giant back. In 1905, Theodore Roosevelt, along with conservationist William Hornaday, founded the American Bison Society. Their goal wasn't small: save a species that had already disappeared. Biologists collected the last surviving bison from remote ranches and hidden refuges. They transported them by train to new sanctuaries. Each wagon felt like carrying the last embers of an extinct world. Slowly, painstakingly, the bison returned. Not naturally,
not accidentally, but by design. One of the first rewilding attempts in world history. When bison step onto a dying grassland, something magical happens. They graze differently than cattle, biting grass in a way that stimulates regrowth. Their heavy hooves churn the soil, planting seeds. Their massive bodies create wallows, natural depressions that store rainwater. Birds nest in the grasses they shape. Insects return. Foxes return. Wolves follow. Rivers stabilize. One species rewires an entire ecosystem. This is why scientists call them North America's keystone megafauna. Without them, the plains collapse. With them, they awaken. Not nearly the original 60 million, but a miracle compared to near extinction. You can see them in Yellowstone, the Tall Grass Prairie Preserve in Oklahoma, Wind Cave National Park, Badlands National Park, American Prairie Preserve in Montana. The American Prairie Preserve, now the largest rewilding project in the United States, dreams of returning tens of thousands of free-roaming bison to the Great Plains, a living, breathing resurrection. Their comeback teaches us something profound. Even a species brought to the edge of total disappearance can return if we choose to bring it back. Rewilding isn't hope, it's proof. The black-footed ferret is one of the rarest animals in the world. A slender hunter of prairies, a specialist feeder that survives almost entirely on prairie dogs. In the 1950s, it disappeared, declared extinct. Then, in 1981, in a tiny town in Wyoming, a dog dropped a dead animal on a ranch porch. It was a ferret. Alive populations were found nearby. For a moment, the world cheered. But a few years later, a plague swept through the area, killing nearly every ferret. Once again, the species was declared functionally extinct. Twice extinct, twice resurrected.
After the disease outbreak, U.S. Fish and Wildlife managed to capture the last 18 ferrets alive. That was it, the entire species. Each one was given a name, a bloodline number, and became part of the most intense captive breeding program ever attempted. Scientists monitored them, every meal, every egg, every genetic factor. This was the definition of last chance. And slowly, it worked. Today, thousands of black-footed ferrets live in rewilded prairie ecosystems across Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, Arizona, Colorado. Newborn ferrets are trained in special ferret boot camps where they learn to hunt living prairie dogs before being released. It's one of the most advanced rewilding programs on Earth. In 2021, scientists cloned a black-footed ferret named Elizabeth Ann, created from the DNA of a ferret that died in 1988. It was the first cloned endangered species in U.S. history. This means something almost sci-fi. We now have the technology to reverse genetic dead ends. Rewilding, once a conservation tool, has evolved into biotechnology. The California condor used to rule the skies. With a 10-foot wingspan, they were the largest flying birds in North America. But by the 1980s, only 22 birds were left. Lead poisoning, habitat destruction, poaching. A species older than the Ice Age, a creature that once soared above mammoths, was about to vanish forever. Scientists made a desperate choice: capture every remaining condor, take them all into captivity, breed them, and hope humanity didn't screw it up again. This decision was mocked at the time, but it worked. California, Arizona, Utah, Baja California in Mexico,
Condors are now teaching their young to fly above the Grand Canyon, a sight no human living in the 1940s could imagine ever seeing again. They aren't just birds, they're ecological janitors. They prevent disease spread by cleaning carcasses. They control decay cycles. They balance scavenger populations. When condors disappeared, ecosystems rotted faster than they regenerated. When condors returned, the balance returned too. If wolves shape ecosystems through fear, beavers shape them through engineering. Beavers once numbered around 200 million across the US, but the fur trade nearly erased them, dropping numbers to a few thousand. Without beavers, wetlands dried, droughts spread, fish died, water tables dropped, fire seasons grew worse. Beavers aren't just animals, they're water architects. As rewilding projects reintroduced beavers back into rivers across Colorado, Utah, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana, hydrologists noticed something shocking. Where beavers went, streams widened, groundwater restored, wildfire resilience increased, biodiversity exploded. One animal changed entire watersheds. Recent studies show that beaver wetlands survive fires even when surrounding forests burn to ash. Their ponds act as natural fire breaks. Their dams store millions of gallons of water. Their networks prevent erosion. Firefighters now collaborate with beaver rewilding teams because a beaver does more for fire resistance than millions spent on machinery. The boundary of conservation used to be clear. Save what's left. Protect what still survives. But now with biotechnology, we've crossed into new territory, reviving what's gone. Scientists are working on bringing traits of the woolly mammoth back, reviving passenger pigeon behaviors, cloning genetically pure bison lines, restoring ancient grassland ecosystems, rewilding tundra to reduce climate change. This isn't Jurassic Park. This is rewilding plus genetics plus ecosystem engineering. The purpose isn't to show off. It's to rebuild lost forests, collapsed prairies, dying tundras, unstable climate cycles. Bison, elephants, and large herbivores have massive impacts on carbon cycles. Reviving them isn't a fantasy, it's a climate strategy. Rewilding is no longer simply about saving species. It's about redesigning ecosystems that stabilize our future. But with great power comes risk. What if species return too fast? What if humans still want the land they need? What if cloning becomes commercial? What if ecosystems change in ways we don't expect? Rewilding is no longer passive. It's a human-guided force. The question is, can we guide it responsibly?
Big cats once ruled North America. Not just mountain lions, but jaguars, lynx, and even prehistoric cheetahs that once sprinted across Nevada and Texas. For over 10,000 years, America was a continent of predators, until humans pushed them into the shadows. But now, slowly, quietly, and sometimes dramatically, the big cats are coming back. Mountain lions, also known as cougars, pumas, and panthers, once ranged from Canada to Chile. By the early 1900s, bounties, hunting, and fear pushed them to near extirpation east of the Rockies. Many scientists believed cougars would only survive in rugged western mountain ranges. But the cougars had other plans. Unlike wolves, who rely on pack structure, or cheetahs, who rely on speed, mountain lions rely on silence. They're ghosts. They adapt. They hide. They linger where humans least expect them. And this adaptability has led to the most unexpected comeback in modern ecological history. One story changed everything. A young male cougar, now known as the CT cougar, traveled over 1,500 miles from South Dakota to Connecticut, the longest recorded journey of any land mammal in North America. He crossed highways, farmlands, suburbs, backyards. He survived near misses with cars. He navigated through some of the busiest human-dominated terrain on the planet. Scientists were stunned. Eastern states, once believed incapable of supporting big predators, were actually perfect habitat. And then, tragedy. The cougar was struck and killed by a vehicle in 2011. But his journey told us something powerful. America didn't lose its wildness. It just needed the animals to return. Today, mountain lions are expanding. Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, Florida, panther subspecies. Cougars are reclaiming the American heartland, not because we put them there, but because they chose to come back. Nature is pushing back into the spaces we abandoned. As cougars return, deer populations stabilize, forests regenerate, ticks decrease, roadkill declines, small mammal dynamics shift, biodiversity increases. Just like wolves, cougars trigger trophic cascades. Their presence means healthier forests, safer ecosystems, and more stable wildlife populations. The Canada lynx isn't just a predator, it's a specialist of winter. Massive paws like natural snowshoes, silent movement across deep powder, eyes tuned to detect the slightest twitch of a snowshoe hair. But by the 1990s, lynx numbers crashed. Logging, trapping, and warming winters shattered their populations. Then came one of the boldest rewilding projects in U.S. history, reintroducing lynx into Colorado. Biologists released 218 lynx from Alaska and Canada between 1999 and 2006. People were skeptical. Some were furious. Many believed the cats would starve or scatter. But the lynx thrived. They adapted. They bred. They established territories across the San Juan Mountains. Today, Colorado has a self-sustaining lynx population, one of America's greatest conservation victories. Where lynx returned, deer populations stabilized, aspen and willow forests regrew, predator-prey cycles normalized, snow ecosystems regained balance. The lynx isn't just a cat, it's a guardian of northern forests. Jaguars once roamed the American Southwest. Artifacts from native nations show jaguars as sacred beings. Settlers in the 1800s recorded seeing them from Texas to California. But by the 1960s, jaguars were gone from the U.S., shot, trapped, and poisoned. Then in 2011, trail cameras near Tucson captured something impossible: a male jaguar, alive, hunting, living near the Santa Rita Mountains. He was named El Jefe, the boss. The world was stunned. A species thought extinct in the U.S. was very much alive. Since 2011, multiple jaguars have appeared on cameras in Arizona and New Mexico. These cats are naturally recolonizing the Southwest from healthy jaguar populations in northern Mexico. Rewilding didn't bring jaguars back. The jaguars brought themselves back. Jaguars are apex predators with ecological influence over deer, javelina, peccary, coyotes, raccoons, and livestock, which creates conflicts. When jaguars return, ecosystems become structured again. Predation prevents overgrazing. Vegetation rebounds. Water systems stabilize. Biodiversity increases. The jaguar is a walking ecosystem.
Now that we understand the animals returning, let's look at why rewilding matters for climate. America's future isn't just shaped by technology or policy. It's shaped by ecosystems that determine rainfall, carbon storage, fire cycles, drought resistance, soil fertility, water security, storm buffering. Rewilding has become a climate tool. Wolves regulate deer, which protects forests. Forests absorb carbon. Bison maintain grasslands. Grasslands store carbon deeper and longer than forests. Beavers build wetlands. Wetlands store water, reduce fires, and trap carbon. Big cats reduce overgrazing, preventing soil erosion and desertification. Elephant-style megafauna, future projects, open forests, increasing carbon sequestration efficiency. Rewilding isn't just a wildlife idea, it's a climate strategy. Water is America's next crisis. Drought, floods, and unpredictable winters threaten millions. But rewilding stabilizes the water cycle. Beavers create natural reservoirs. Wolves prevent stream bank erosion. Bison create water pockets. Birds spread seeds that build flood-resistant forests. Wetlands reduce storm surge impacts. Natural infrastructure saves billions in engineering costs. Wildfire seasons in the U.S. are longer than ever. Climate change intensifies them, but land degradation is the fuel. Beaver wetlands reduce fire spread. Bison grazing reduces dry grass buildup. Forest predators reduce deer that eat fire-resistant plants. Condors remove carcasses that otherwise attract dangerous scavenger spikes. Rewilding doesn't stop fires. It reduces the severity and increases the land's resilience. Rewilding isn't just biology. It's sociology, politics, economics. Because when animals return, conflicts return too. Wolves save ecosystems, but ranchers fear livestock losses. Environmentalists support wolves, but rural communities worry about safety. Hunters protest elk declines, but scientists show elk herds become healthier. Wolves are no longer just animals. They are a symbol of political division. Rewilding teaches us that coexistence requires compensation programs, community partnerships, sustainable livestock management, education, non-lethal deterrence, respect for the people who live with wildlife. Wolves are not villains. Ranchers are not enemies. Humans and predators can coexist, but only if we communicate. As mountain lions expand, they appear near California suburbs, Colorado neighborhoods, Texas ranches, Utah trail systems, Washington parks. But the data is clear. Cougars avoid humans. They are not out to attack. Conflicts are rare and preventable. Coexistence requires securing pets, using wildlife-safe trash, avoiding deer feeders, staying aware on trails, community alerts. America is learning to live with predators again.
The biggest barrier to jaguar recovery isn't ecological, it's political. Border wall construction blocks jaguar migration routes from Mexico into the U.S. Without connectivity, jaguars cannot establish breeding populations. Conservationists now push for wildlife corridors, habitat tunnels, and protected areas spanning both countries. Rewilding is international. Nature doesn't recognize borders. Wildlife brings money. Tourism from wolves, Yellowstone; bison, Montana; bears, Alaska; birds, California condor; jaguars, Arizona; mountain lions, California; lynx, Colorado, brings millions to rural economies. Rewilding creates jobs, guides, scientists, rangers, local businesses, conservation funding. Nature is not just beautiful, it's profitable. They were supposed to be gone forever. Creatures from another age. Beasts that shaped rivers, forests, and entire continents, then vanished into the cold silence of extinction. But extinction is no longer the end of the story. Today,
Science is rewriting the rules of life and death, and nature is responding with a roar. No animal symbolizes lost worlds like the woolly mammoth, a 6-ton architect of the Ice Age, a walking bulldozer that carved out grasslands, fertilized soil, and regulated temperatures across the Northern Hemisphere. For a century, they existed only as bones and museum memories. But now, scientists are preparing to bring them back. Visual. Ancient DNA in frozen tusks. A lab glowing with cold blue light. Computers rebuilding genomes piece by piece. Inside a Harvard lab, researchers aren't just studying mammoths. They're reconstructing them. Through advanced gene editing, they're merging elephant DNA with preserved mammoth code, creating a hybrid species built for the cold, built for the tundra, built to revive a dying ecosystem. Why? Because without mammoths, the Arctic is collapsing. Visual. Melting permafrost, collapsing forests, methane plumes rising from the earth. Mammoths once flattened trees, exposing land to reflect sunlight and maintain frozen soil. When the mammoths disappeared, the Arctic lost its natural climate protector. Bringing them back isn't just a miracle of science, it's a weapon against climate change. Cut to a simulated herd of mammoths marching across a reborn grassland. If this succeeds, the Arctic might return to the thriving grassland it once was, a living climate shield engineered by nature itself. The comeback of the mammoth isn't science fiction, it's the future of ecological restoration. Golden sunlight piercing through river reeds. A silhouette glides beneath the water, smooth, powerful. This is the story of a miracle, a resurrection nobody expected, a comeback that reshaped an entire continent. Once hunted to the edge of extinction for fur, the American beaver vanished from most of the United States. Rivers dried up, wetlands collapsed, wildfires grew stronger. Nature had lost one of its great designers. But then, something extraordinary happened. Communities began reintroducing beavers, not as wildlife, but as engineers. And America changed. Time-lapse of beaver dams forming ponds, a wildfire approaching, then slowing down near a beaver-made wetland. Birds, turtles, fish returning in swarms. Beavers do what humans spend billions trying to replicate. They build natural water storage systems that fight droughts, prevent floods, and stop wildfires dead in their tracks. The return of the beaver proved something massive. Bring back a single vanished species, and an entire ecosystem can reboot. From Washington to Colorado, from Montana to California, the beaver boom is reshaping America's water future. This isn't rewilding. This is nature's engineering renaissance. A mountain cliff at dawn. Wind ripping through the thin air. Suddenly, an enormous shadow rises. A bird with a 10-foot wingspan lifts into the sky. In the 1980s, America nearly lost one of its greatest species. Just 22 California condors remained. 22. A number so small, extinction seemed inevitable. But the USA did something no nation had ever attempted. A last-second rescue so daring, it sounded impossible. Every remaining condor was captured, brought into captivity, protected, studied, cloned through genetics, and hand-raised with puppets to prevent human imprinting. Scientists feeding chicks with condor-shaped puppets. Early release attempts. Dramatic flight shots of young condors learning to soar. Today, more than 500 condors glide across the skies of Arizona, Utah,
California, and Baja. What once was a ghost of American skies has become a symbol of national pride, resilience, and radical conservation success. Rewilding isn't just happening somewhere out there. It's happening here, in the United States.
Yellowstone National Park was dying. After wolves were eradicated in the 1920s, elk populations exploded. Trees were stripped bare. Riverbanks eroded. Songbirds disappeared. The land itself was unraveling. It was nature's slow death. But in 1995, the wolves came back. Helicopters releasing wolves into snowy valleys, packs forming, predators scanning the hills. What happened next shocked the world. Wolves didn't just return. They revived an entire ecosystem. Elk behavior changed. Aspen and willow trees regrew. Beavers returned. Wetlands formed. Coyotes were balanced. Rabbits, hawks, and foxes flourished. Rivers literally changed course. Scientists call it a trophic cascade. We call it the greatest ecological comeback story in American history. Yellowstone proved something huge. Sometimes, the most powerful way to heal nature is to bring back the predators we feared. Australia's scorched plains, blackened trees, smoke curling through orange skies. Not all comebacks happen in the USA, but their lessons reshape global ecology. And one comeback might redefine how humans fight wildfires. After wildfires nearly wiped them out, rewilding teams relocated and bred the last survivors. Their return revealed something astonishing. These birds influence how fire spreads. When they vanish, forests become more flammable. When they return, ecosystems stabilize. The world is learning from this tiny, nearly forgotten bird. Restoring nature means restoring natural fire patterns. A vanished species didn't just come back, it came back with a warning. Crystal blue waters, light ripples across coral, schools of fish scatter like sparks. The ocean holds its own legends of return. Species once declared functionally extinct, now rising from the depths. When sea otters vanished from the Pacific coast, kelp forests, underwater jungles, collapsed as sea urchins multiplied unchecked. Beaches eroded, fisheries died, coastal ecosystems deteriorated. Then, rewilding teams brought sea otters back. What happened next felt almost magical. The otters began hunting sea urchins again, bringing balance back to the ocean. Kelp forests exploded with life. Whales returned. Fish populations surged. One furry predator revived an entire underwater world. Otters aren't cute. They're ecosystem architects, and their comeback shows that the sea, too, can heal if we let it. A barren desert valley, heat shimmer, silence. Then, a single pronghorn sprints across the plain, fast as a bullet. Once pushed to near extinction, pronghorn numbers have rebounded through massive USA rewilding efforts. They are the second fastest land animals on Earth, evolved to outrun Ice Age predators that no longer exist. Their return is restoring grasslands, controlling vegetation, and bringing back predators that depend on them. The pronghorn comeback isn't just ecological, it's a revival of the American West's wild identity. Time-lapse of a river coming back to life, dry banks turning green, fish returning, birds diving. Some species don't walk, fly, or roar. Some species flow. Beavers, wolves, salmon, bears. Their return triggered the revival of rivers themselves. Rewilding is revealing a truth humanity forgot. To resurrect ecosystems, You must resurrect the species that power them. We're not just bringing back animals. We're bringing back movement, balance, energy, life. These comebacks aren't isolated miracles. They are signs, proof that nature doesn't want to die. Nature wants to return, if we let her, if we help her. The vanished are rising. And this is only the beginning.